You probably think breakfast is just another meal. But if you have type 2 diabetes or prediabetes, breakfast can literally set the tone for your entire day, for better or worse. And here's the scary part. Most people with diabetes are eating the wrong kind of breakfast, even if it looks healthy. They start the day with orange juice, a slice of whole wheat toast, maybe a banana or a bowl of oatmeal, and within 90 minutes, they're crashing. They feel tired, anxious, foggy. Their blood sugar levels are already rising, and they haven't even reached lunch. If that sounds familiar, this video is going to change everything. Because today, I'll reveal the top 5 diabetic breakfasts that are not only delicious and simple to make, but clinically backed to help lower blood sugar, improve insulin resistance, and stabilize your fasting blood sugar levels all day long. And in the next few minutes, you're going to learn why most traditional breakfast foods are actually making your diabetes worse, and what to eat instead to finally feel in control of your glucose, your hunger, your energy, and your results. Stay with me, because the last 2 meals I'll show you are the most powerful, and probably not what you expect. Now let's get something clear. If you wake up and your blood sugar test is already high, even though you didn't eat anything overnight, that's called the dawn phenomenon. It happens because your liver is releasing stored glucose to give your body energy in the morning. That's why your fasting blood sugar can be high even if your dinner was perfect. And that's exactly why your first meal of the day matters more than any other. The wrong breakfast can send your blood sugar even higher, but the right breakfast can help reverse that spike and flatten your curve for hours. So what makes a breakfast diabetic friendly? It comes down to 2 things: the glycemic index of the foods you eat, and how they affect your insulin response after the meal. Most people don't realize that even healthy carbs, like instant oats, fruit smoothies, granola bars, or even whole grain cereal, can be high on the glycemic index. They raise your blood sugar fast, force your body to release insulin, and trigger a crash that leaves you hungry again by mid-morning. And here's the dangerous part. That crash makes you crave more carbs, which leads to another spike, another insulin dump, and another crash. It becomes a blood sugar roller coaster that can lead to weight gain, fatigue, and eventually insulin resistance. That's why the first step to building a diabetic breakfast is to avoid those high-carb, high-glycemic foods, even if the label says healthy. Instead, we focus on low glycemic index foods combined with protein, healthy fats, and fiber. This combination slows digestion, keeps you full longer, and prevents blood sugar spikes after eating. It also reduces the risk of hypoglycemia symptoms later in the day, especially for people on type 2 diabetes medications. But what does this look like in real life? Well, we're going to get to the 5 best breakfasts in the next blocks, and I'll explain exactly what to include and why each one works. For now, I want to show you just how powerful the right breakfast can be. There was a study done on people with diabetes mellitus, where researchers compared 2 different breakfasts. One group ate a low-fat, high-carb breakfast, like cereal and toast. The other group ate a high-protein, low-carb breakfast, like eggs, avocado, and vegetables. The results? The high-protein group had lower blood sugar spikes, less hunger, and better insulin sensitivity, even 4 hours later. And this isn't just one study. We now know that eating a balanced, low-carb breakfast can reduce fasting blood sugar levels, help manage prediabetes, and even support people trying to reverse type 2 diabetes. So why don't most people do it? Because they've been told breakfast needs to be fast, or sweet, or easy to eat on the go. So they grab toast, fruit, or a packaged diabetic snack and end up starting their day with a glucose bomb. But here's the truth. The right breakfast doesn't have to be complicated. It just has to be built with the right ingredients. And once you know what those are, it becomes easy. Now maybe you're wondering, but I don't feel like eating in the morning, or I'm not hungry when I wake up. That's actually a symptom of unstable blood sugar. Skipping breakfast or eating the wrong thing can make that worse, especially if you're experiencing prediabetes symptoms or already struggling with insulin resistance. And if you're trying to improve your blood sugar test results, lose belly fat, or simply have more energy throughout the day, your breakfast matters more than your dinner. That's why, in the next section, I'm going to walk you through the first 2 diabetic breakfasts and break down exactly what they contain, why they work, and how they help control both blood sugar levels and insulin spikes. And I'll also explain the biggest breakfast mistakes that even people on a diabetic diet meal plan still make. Mistakes that are keeping their numbers high no matter what they do later in the day. Stick with me, because by the end of this video, you'll be able to build your own diabetic-friendly breakfast that tastes amazing, keeps you full, and actually helps your body heal. Let's dive into the first 2 breakfasts every diabetic should know about. These aren't just random meals. They've been selected because of how they impact blood sugar levels, insulin response, and even long-term type 2 diabetes management. The first breakfast is simple, savory, and powerful: scrambled eggs with spinach and avocado. Now, at first glance, it might not sound groundbreaking, but let me break it down for you. Eggs are a rich source of high-quality protein and healthy fats. They help you feel full, stabilize your glucose, and slow down digestion, which is critical for anyone trying to lower blood sugar or improve insulin resistance. Contrary to outdated myths, eggs do not raise blood sugar. In fact, they've been shown to improve satiety and reduce fasting blood sugar levels over time when consumed regularly. Spinach, on the other hand, is a low glycemic index food packed with magnesium, one of the key minerals often lacking in people with type 2 diabetes or prediabetes. Magnesium plays a central role in insulin sensitivity, blood pressure regulation, and inflammation control. Then we add avocado, which is full of fiber, potassium, and healthy monounsaturated fats. It supports heart health, reduces the glycemic impact of meals, and provides a slow, sustained release of energy. Together, this meal gives you a powerful mix of protein, fiber, healthy fat, and micronutrients that directly support diabetes management. And because it contains no refined carbs, it keeps your blood sugar stable while giving your body exactly what it needs to start the day right. This type of meal is ideal if you've ever experienced high sugar symptoms after eating cereal, toast, or even oatmeal. It's gentle, filling, and won't cause post-meal glucose spikes like most standard breakfast options. Now, let's move on to breakfast number 2, which is perfect for those who enjoy something sweeter, but still want to keep their blood sugar chart in the healthy range. Greek yogurt with chia seeds, cinnamon, and a handful of berries. Let's break this one down. Plain Greek yogurt is rich in protein and probiotics, which help improve gut health and regulate digestion. Studies show that people with type 2 diabetes who consume fermented dairy products like yogurt often have better fasting blood sugar and reduced inflammation. The key is to use unsweetened Greek yogurt, not the flavored kinds packed with added sugars. Even low-fat versions often contain hidden carbs that raise blood sugar levels. Then we add chia seeds, one of the most powerful foods for diabetics. Chia is packed with soluble fiber, which slows down the absorption of glucose and keeps insulin release more controlled. Plus, it supports hydration and digestion, 2 often overlooked issues for people on type 2 diabetes medications. Next, we add a pinch of cinnamon, not just for flavor, but for its powerful blood sugar lowering effects. Multiple studies suggest that cinnamon can improve insulin sensitivity and help reduce post-meal glucose spikes, especially in people with insulin resistance. Finally, we top it with a small handful of berries: blueberries, raspberries, or strawberries. These fruits are lower in sugar than bananas or grapes, but packed with antioxidants, fiber, and nutrients that support vascular health, vision, and metabolism. This meal satisfies your sweet craving while still fitting into a low glycemic index, diabetic diet meal plan. And if you're someone who's trying to reverse prediabetes or struggling with hypoglycemia symptoms, it's a great way to balance your glucose without extreme spikes or crashes. One question I often get is, can I eat fruit in the morning if I have diabetes? And the answer is yes, but only the right kind, in the right portion, paired with protein and fiber. That's what makes this yogurt bowl so effective. It turns fruit into a controlled source of energy, not a blood sugar bomb. And here's the thing most people don't know. The combination of protein plus fat plus fiber at breakfast doesn't just affect that meal. It can improve your blood sugar response for the rest of the day. Researchers call this the second meal effect. In simple terms, eating a balanced breakfast helps your body handle lunch and dinner better too. So if you're serious about improving your blood sugar test results, reducing your insulin resistance, and supporting long-term diabetic nutrition, these 2 meals are a great place to start. Now maybe you're thinking, but what about oatmeal? Isn't that supposed to be healthy for diabetics? And here's the truth. It depends. Instant oats, flavored oatmeal packets, and large portions of rolled oats can spike blood sugar, especially when eaten alone. But small portions of steel-cut oats, cooked slowly and topped with chia seeds, protein powder, or nuts, that's a completely different story. We'll get into that in the next breakfast. Because yes, you can enjoy comfort foods as a diabetic, if you know how to modify them. And in the next part of this video, I'll show you how to turn a common danger food into a powerful blood sugar-friendly breakfast, along with one more meal that's helped thousands of people with prediabetes and type 2 diabetes stabilize their mornings and feel full for hours. Stick around, because the last meal I'll share is the one I recommend most often for people who wake up with fasting blood sugar over 130 or who feel exhausted before 10 a.m. Now let's continue with breakfast number 3, because yes, you can eat oatmeal as a diabetic, if you prepare it the right way. The secret is to avoid the sugary, fast-digesting versions that raise your blood sugar levels and instead use steel-cut oats or old-fashioned rolled oats as your base. These are much lower on the glycemic index and release glucose more slowly into the bloodstream. But here's where it gets interesting. Instead of cooking your oats with water and adding fruit or honey, which many people do, cook them with unsweetened almond milk, a pinch of cinnamon, and add a scoop of plant-based protein powder or Greek yogurt at the end. Why? Because protein and fat slow digestion, reduce insulin spikes, and improve satiety. Without them, oats, even healthy oats, can still cause a glucose surge. Then, top your bowl with a tablespoon of flax seeds, chia seeds, or walnuts. All of these provide healthy fats and fiber that reduce the overall glycemic load of the meal. This version of oatmeal turns a risky choice into a balanced, powerful meal that supports blood sugar control, improves insulin resistance, and fits perfectly into a long-term type 2 diabetes diet. Now let's move on to something most people never expect to hear in a diabetes video. Breakfast number 4 is a veggie-packed omelet with olive oil and mushrooms. Yes, savory, satisfying, and blood sugar friendly. Here's why this works so well. Eggs, as we discussed before, are a complete protein source. When combined with non-starchy vegetables like mushrooms, peppers, zucchini, or kale, you get an incredibly filling, nutrient-dense meal that barely raises blood sugar at all. Cooking the omelet in a small amount of extra virgin olive oil adds healthy monounsaturated fats that support heart health and reduce inflammation. This is especially important for people with type 2 diabetes, who are at higher risk of cardiovascular issues. Now here's where it gets even better. Mushrooms contain compounds that may help improve glucose metabolism and reduce oxidative stress. Plus, they're high in fiber, low in calories, and have practically zero impact on blood sugar levels. Adding leafy greens like spinach or kale boosts your magnesium intake, a mineral critical for insulin sensitivity, yet commonly low in people with diabetes mellitus or prediabetes. This meal gives you everything your body needs in the morning: protein, fat, fiber, vitamins, minerals, and no blood sugar crash. If you pair it with a side of half an avocado or a few almonds, you'll stay full for hours and avoid the typical mid-morning energy dip that so many diabetics experience. And now, we come to breakfast number 5, the one I recommend the most. Because it works, it's fast, and it's powerful. A high-protein smoothie with fiber, fat, and 0 added sugar. Let me explain. Most smoothies are a blood sugar disaster. They're loaded with bananas, fruit juice, honey, and sugary yogurts, all of which raise blood sugar levels quickly. But this smoothie is different. Here's how to build it. Start with unsweetened almond milk or water as your base. Add a scoop of whey protein isolate or plant-based protein powder with no added sugar. Throw in a tablespoon of chia seeds or ground flaxseed for fiber. Add a few frozen berries, no more than half a cup, for antioxidants and flavor. Then toss in a handful of spinach or kale for minerals and volume. Blend it all together and drink it slowly. This smoothie digests gradually, keeps you full, and doesn't spike your blood sugar like traditional breakfast shakes. It's ideal for people who don't feel hungry in the morning or who need a quick diabetic breakfast on the go. And the best part? You can customize it. Want more fat? Add avocado or a tablespoon of peanut butter. Need more energy? Add a few oats or a bit of cinnamon to support insulin resistance and flavor. Trying to reverse prediabetes or improve hypoglycemia symptoms? Add berberine capsules with your smoothie under medical guidance for enhanced glucose control. This kind of breakfast combines scientific precision with real-world practicality. It's not just about food. It's about how that food affects your body's ability to function. Now maybe you're thinking, this all sounds great, but how do I know it's really working? Start tracking. Test your fasting blood sugar in the morning before breakfast. Then eat one of these meals and test again 2 hours later. You'll see how your body responds. You'll begin to recognize what works for you. And over time, your blood sugar test results will reflect those changes. You'll also notice your diabetes symptoms start to ease. You'll feel more energy, more focus, less hunger, and fewer crashes. That's the power of starting the day right. Now, before we close, let's quickly talk about what to avoid. Because even the best diabetic diet meal plan can fail if breakfast includes the wrong foods. Be cautious with fruit juices of any kind, instant cereals or quick oats, sweetened yogurts, white bread, even if labeled whole wheat, granola bars or diabetic snacks with hidden sugars, breakfast sandwiches with processed meats and refined carbs, rice-based breakfasts or starchy leftovers, snacks for diabetics marketed as low sugar, but loaded with chemicals. Even rice for diabetics, if eaten in the morning, can spike glucose unless balanced with protein and fat. The truth is, what you don't eat in the morning is just as important as what you do. So now you've got 5 powerful diabetic breakfasts to work with. And in the final part of this video, I'm going to bring everything together, with a message that might just change the way you see your diagnosis and your future. I know it's not easy. Living with type 2 diabetes, prediabetes, or even just high blood sugar levels can feel like a constant battle. Every meal becomes a question. Every test result becomes a judgment. And every morning, you wonder if you're doing enough. But here's the truth. You're not failing. You've just been given the wrong tools. Most people with diabetes are told to count carbs, take medications, and hope for the best. But what they're not told is that their body is capable of healing when it's given the right support. And it all starts with the first decision you make each day. Breakfast isn't just a meal. It's your foundation. It's your chance to start the day in control, instead of chasing your blood sugar for the next 12 hours. It's where your healing can begin. And now you have 5 powerful breakfasts that are proven to help lower blood sugar, improve insulin resistance, and support your long-term diabetes management, naturally. This isn't a trend. This isn't a miracle. This is science, applied the right way, at the right time. So if you're ready to take the next step, if you want to see how thousands of people are already transforming their blood sugar naturally, not with extreme diets or expensive drugs, but with real food and real support, the solution is waiting for you in the link below this video. Click it and see what's possible for you too. And if this video helped you, even just a little, I'd love to hear about it. leave a comment, share your story, give it a like so it reaches more people, and most of all, subscribe, because this channel is here for you. And together, we're not just managing diabetes, we're rewriting the story.